Hey, Alice. How you feeling today? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Beck. Y'all doing okay? Yeah, doing good. Good deal. Yeah, I pray that you get to feeling better soon, too. Hanging in there. That's right. He's the best one. Ain't no doubt about it.
Still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. Still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. He leaves their daughter. That's why I still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. He leaves their daughter. That's why her daughter, man. I still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. He leaves their daughter. That's I still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. He leaves their daughter. That's why her daughter, man, no more than you think. I still say the Lord. Daniel Martel. He's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He leaves the kids. He leaves their daughter. That's why her daughter, man, no more than you think. I think your daughter's lying. You must know what happened. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do polygraph and everything. You did your polygraph too? Yeah, because.
Hey, Judy. I believe if CPS has not stepped in to get Meadow, this guy here is thinking that he would do Meadow the same way that he's did Jack and Lily. He said he can't stand the kids. And he said he beats them. Hey, Tanya, just you just have to listen above all the noise where they're walking through the limbs and stuff. Listen real good. Hey, Pearl. Marley?
Still saying the Lord.
Hello. And welcome. If you like this kind of content, hey, hit the like button and subscribe. Become a JSV fan. We've been having some people to come over here from other channels and then jumping back, telling them what we find out. So I pray that that's not what you do. We'd love to have you as a fan. We've got kind of cautious here lately. People coming in maybe once every other week or something other, and then we start watching some of these clips, and next thing you know, they tell what I've been getting. Yeah, pure evil. You got your earbuds on, good deal. Now I'm gonna play this again. Now listen, there's some confessions right here, but when I stop it, hey Sabina, right as I stop it, make sure you listen over the rustling of the limbs and whatnot. But did not know that RCMP and authorities had bugged that phone. From Canada, Ontario. Got some people from Ontario. Um, Mammy Jean is uh, what was the name of that place Mammy Jean's at? I know it was no more name. Hmm. That video, Kim didn't say that he was. If you go back and look at the clip that I took a photo of, it said arrest coming. Not yet had, but coming. Let me just take care of business right here. So people getting it all wrong. So I'm talking about Pearl Moody, uh, Morley. People come up in here and say junk like that. Hey, Lynn. Uh, that clip that I showed the picture of, I just snapped a photo of it, and it said arrest coming for Darren. It didn't say that he was or wasn't. What I did say is that the last 10, 11 days now, he's been under the radar. Nobody's heard of him. Same thing with Daniel. No new update with him present. Everything that you see that people are photoshopping thumbnails to get views, they're finding out slowly but surely that they ain't but just a few words twisted, and then it goes right back to telling the same thing again. They don't lead to nothing. It's just somebody's way of getting some views, and that's it. Um, but I wrote Kim's name down the other day. Uh, I know she's been coming in the chat, and then she goes back to one of the other channels and tells everything that I get. Um, and I don't use Facebook, YouTube, or anything else to get the truth behind anything. What I do is let these nut jobs say what they need to say. Then we talk to the children. That's and they're pissed because so it throws all them underwater, and they're jealous because I may say something that I just only repeat what's being said spiritually. And all I'm doing is repeating it. I'm not putting words in their mouth. You can't. You can't tell a spirit what to say and what not to say. And if they can't do that kind of thing, give the deceased a voice, then don't take my info and share it. That ain't right. So now she's no longer welcome to the show. Yeah, well, like I said, I banned her from the show, so that's the end of that. But I was giving that for an example to Pearl Morley. Yes, they should. And just because of what she come in here and said that they have not been arrested, don't mean that they have not been arrested. Somebody like that right there that comes in and steals info and takes it to another channel and piles it up so they have something to use, you can't believe them type people. Why have there been no sightings of Daniel and uh, Malaya Dernuts, uh, Daniel's mom, the whole 9 yards, for the last 10, 11 days? There's nothing, no videos up to current date of them saying or doing anything. And the only thing I said is really there ain't but one or two options you got here. Either they're hiding low, or either they're already in custody and being interrogated, which should go quite good if you got common sense. But that one there, I think she was off the walls so bad she'd walk right into the side of a barn missing the door. But you're right, I ain't gonna put no crap. That's what I told y'all the other day. I want y'all to take that crap down, but if you can, make a spectacle out of them before you do. Let's have a little bit of fun on here anyway while we do it, you know. I mean, ain't no sense in telling no lie. I sit right here, and let people hear everything that's being said from the people that's trying to lie or get out of anything. And then when we listen to the children, they tell a total different story. So that's enough for me. Yeah, but to take yeah, but to go out there and take what I find, what I get, and twist it up and tell somebody else that I'm saying this or I'm saying that. All I can say is your poor piss excuse for a human being. And then that's it. And what I get, like I said, has nothing to do with YouTube or any platform. I wouldn't have this right here if it wasn't my granny. Mm. Yeah, I seen that too. I don't know if it's on an old charge or what, but I seen that too. Yeah. Well, anybody comes back in here and says anything negative, just don't just uh, don't put them in timeout. Hide from the channel. All right, here we go. Listen very closely. Now, like I said, they're walking through limbs and on leaves and things, but listen very, very closely. Yes, yeah, you know. And if you can't do what I do, it ain't my daggum fault. But you ain't gonna come over here and get what I'm finding out, and then take it back. This ain't no honey hive here. You know, this is the JSV show, not JSV share to other people show or other platforms. The only ones that I care about being here is the ones that would love to learn about the paranormal, have a heart for missing teens and children, and to have a good time on days that we just goof off. And that's it. That's all we need. Mm-hmm. Now listen carefully.
Still say the Lord. That's Daniel Martel. That's he's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He beats the kids and beats their daughter. That's why but her daughter must know more than you saying. I think your daughter's lying. She must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do.
He already started to want to beat the new daughter. He already wanted to start to beat the new daughter. Listen.
Still say the Lord. But Daniel Martell, the he's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He beats the kids. He beats her daughter. That's why her daughter meant no more than you saying. I said your daughter's lying. You must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do polygraph and everything. You did your polygraph too? Yeah, because we had to drop the kids off. Okay. Over there. So you and Cindy and
Daniel Martell.
Wait a minute. Let's catch it again.
I still say the Lord. But Daniel Martell, the he's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He beats the kids. He beats her daughter. That's why her daughter.
To beat the new daughter. And then he goes on to say about talking about having to take a polygraph. He was worried about the 4 or 5 that he's already killed.
No more than you saying. I think your daughter's lying. You must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do polygraph and everything. You did your polygraph too? Yeah, because we were.
About the 4 or 5 I killed. Listen one more time.
Still say the Lord. But Daniel Martell, he's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He beats the kids. He beats her daughter. That's why her daughter meant no more than you saying. I said your daughter's lying. You must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do polygraph and everything.
There's only 3 people involved with this. He said, listen closely. Only 3 people involved in this.
Still say the Lord. But Daniel Martell, he's on meth. He's on meth. He sells meth. And he makes it. And he don't wake the kids. He beats the kids. He beats her daughter. That's why her daughter meant no more than you saying. I said your daughter's lying. You must know what happens. Only 3 people in the state. Exactly. We had to do polygraph and everything. You did your polygraph too? Yeah, because we.
For the 4 or 5 I've killed. Wanted to start beating on the new daughter.
You had to drop the kids off. Okay. Over there. So you and Cindy and
Daniel Martell was never just a stepfather. Not to Lily. Not to Jack. Not in the ways that matter. Behind the polite smiles and stage photos. Behind the carefully curated social media posts. Something far more sinister was unfolding. He exposed those children to something no child should ever breathe in. Toxic fumes. Unregulated chemicals. Burn pits releasing black smoke in the dead of night. And for a long time, no one saw it. No school reports. No medical calls. No neighbor complaints that ever stuck. Because Daniel Martell knew how to keep it hidden until he couldn't. Now the truth is coming out, and it's worse than anyone feared. What the RCMP found behind that cottage, the real backyard, the part fenced off with scrap metal and warning signs peeled off, it wasn't just suspicious. It was dangerous. Investigators discovered remnants of industrial solvents, melted plastic, scorched rubber, and a fire pit that had been used far too often for anything innocent. Forensic teams brought in air quality meters. The soil came back contaminated. Residue from burned materials matched chemicals known to cause hallucinations, respiratory distress, even neurological damage in children. But it's not just what was burned, it's how often, it's when, and it's what else was nearby when the burning happened. RCMP confirmed they recovered scorched clothing fibers.
Okay. So we know that they've been out burning the kids' toys and and stuff like that. Now, there's a catch here. All right. Now, I may be wrong. Then again, I may not be. Now, you wouldn't sit and burn away your child's toys and clothing and things like that if you expected them to come back. Am I wrong? I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If you are burning your children's toys and clothing, does that mean that I already know that the children are not coming back? Okay. So charred clothing is matching up to their clothes. All right. He said how often the burn pit is being used. Now we know numbnuts went too far. He said too damn much. We all know that. I mean, yeah, I'm crazy as a bat, but I mean, we know that he's done too much. We heard that conversation just now, and when it comes out to wash, you're gonna be surprised who was doing it. They were talking to. Um, so if being pissed because the children were not put or still remain where they were put, and then some of the remains moved. Yeah. Could it be that he's trying to burn some remains? Because he's done got pissed now that, you know, people's found the remains of the bodies. So I guess now this is just an idea. He could have gathered up as much as he possibly could, brought back, and usually burning. If you burn some plastic on top of anything, it will stay burning for hours at a time. That would help dispose, especially of any type. You could take a steak out there in my burn pit and lay a plastic plate on top of it, and it would burn for 2 or 3 hours. So, I mean, yeah. So they're they're telling some truth here, and we heard here back few days back, maybe a week, that Daniel was already burning their toys. And to me, if you think and have 1% chance that you think that the children could come back, why in the world would you burn their toys? Why not let them stay there and be used by Meadow? The truth don't lie. And then people come over here and get what I say and twist it around and take it back somewhere else. See, that's just that's not okay. And well, you'll see here in a minute.
Children's sizes, a half-melted toy, and tools, masks, gloves, cans with faded labels. The implications are horrifying because what the evidence now suggests is this. Lily and Jack Sullivan weren't just neglected. They weren't just at risk. They were actively exposed to harm. Not once, not by accident, but repeatedly, deliberately, quietly, all behind a...
Now, yes, Now, let's don't look. Let's don't look, say, for something a week from now. Let's think back from when Daniel and Malaya got together. They probably wasn't together. It Now this is my opinion. They probably wasn't together maybe hardly even a year before he started being mean to the children. But the thing of it is, he got to where he was doing it so often, it become the norm. And that's why Lily, if she was out in public, if she heard a loud noise, she'd just freeze up. They they keep saying look back at what has happened, but all they talk about is the dope, money problems, boyfriend girlfriend problems, this and that and other, family members not liking one another, but they're not talking about what needs to be talked about. Yeah, they need to only everybody throw out prayers for Pamela. She's in much pain tonight. Uh, you may need to take her to the ER or call an ambulance. Uh, there's no there's no need for her to lay there and hurt. And if she's stubborn and don't want to go, make her go anyway. Everybody in the house throw out a prayer for uh, Pamela. And you keep us informed of what's going on and how it's doing and everything else. Um, you know, there for a couple of weeks or whatnot, maybe three. They bless you. They wasn't talking about nothing but adult stuff like boyfriend girlfriend junk and who got one quicker and who didn't and just yeah, sat it on her knee. Yeah. Um, you welcome. You welcome. Tell her that we miss her and we love her and that she better daggum hurry up and get back here because we miss her. She's loved by all JSB fans. So, you know, trying to take the heat off the children and just make it about the adults of what they're going through. Who cares what they're going through? Who actually cares? For people that does this to children, why in the world would we have any feeling for any of them? I'm not. Yeah. So they've messed around for 2 to 3 weeks now, just talking about that kind of crap. But the only thing good out of that is that RCMP and authorities were gathering up more information while they were all about that kind of crap. They were doing something on the side. And when we heard them last night, they said, we got some stuff, got a note, but they are portions of this that we're not going to disclose to the public yet because they know it would be damaging to the case. So they want to wait and play that out in court. And I don't blame them on that, but I just wish they'd hurry up and do it.
Fail at domestic normalcy, all while Daniel Martell smiled for the camera, played the role, and told everyone the kids were just fine. They weren't. And the moment you know that, the moment you realize those children may have lived in fear, confusion, or even pain, the disappearance stops feeling random. It starts to feel inevitable. Because if the environment was already lethal, if they were already suffering exposure, and if someone felt the heat closing in, what lengths would they go to in order to make sure the truth never surfaced? The RCMP isn't saying everything, but they don't need to. The fire pit, the fumes, the tools, all of it paints one picture. Lily and Jack Sullivan were in danger long before anyone noticed they were gone. It started with a neighbor's casual comment, an odd smell in the air, a mix of chemicals, scorched plastic, and thick, acrid smoke drifting across yards late into the night. At first, no one thought much of it, just another backyard fire, maybe someone burning leaves. But then it kept happening, week after week, always after dark, always in the same part of the Martell Sullivan property. Eventually, someone got closer, saw the pit, saw the flames.
I guarantee you he kept burning plastic on top of all the children's on top of all the children's clothing, anything that the children had, would put plastic on it and burn it down. And with plastic being on it, like I said, it'll burn for hours.
And saw Daniel Martell standing over with gloves, tools, and a bundle of scorched wiring. He wasn't burning garbage. He was stripping copper, illegally, by torching insulated electrical wire. Open flames. No ventilation. No protection. Just feet away from the children's sandbox. That's not just reckless. That's toxic exposure. Burning PVC insulated wire releases dioxins, hydrochloric acid, benzene, all known carcinogens, all dangerous to breathe, especially for small, developing lungs. RCMP environmental specialists later confirmed the air and soil in that yard were compromised. Contamination levels near the burn site exceeded residential safety limits. Residue collected from the grass, tree bark, and even children's toys tested positive for polyaromatic hydrocarbons and lead particulates. Lily and Jack weren't just near the danger. They lived in it, played in it, ate near it, slept near it, breathed it in, and still no reports were filed. No agency intervened because no one saw the full picture. Until now, the neighbor's observation, dismissed for years, suddenly became a thread that unraveled the truth. Because once investigators knew what to look for, they found everything. Photos, videos, toolkits, receipts for salvaged scrap copper, and GPS logs showing Martell frequenting abandoned construction sites late at night. He wasn't just a backyard burner. He was running an operation, and he didn't care who got hurt in the process. Toxic.
That number one copper right there's up right now. I think it's about 160 per 100 right now. Hey, oh.
Fumes, neurotoxic particles, long-term health consequences, and 2 children living in the middle of it all. This wasn't parenting. It wasn't survival. It was calculated neglect and environmental abuse. And when you realize how much Martel had to hide, you start to ask, what else was he willing to burn? What else was he willing to erase? And if those burn pits could speak, what secrets would they tell? Burning PVC insulation, like the kind found on scrap wire, releases dioxins, carcinogens, neurotoxins, chemicals that are not only toxic but persistent. They seep into soil, cling to skin and hair, settle in the lungs of anyone nearby. This was an accident. It wasn't a one-time error in judgment. It was regular, ongoing, a pattern of behavior Daniel Martel repeated week after week, often in the evenings, sometimes in the early mornings, lighting up burn pits just feet from where Jack and Lily played. This wasn't trash disposal. It was copper stripping, melting plastic off valuable wire, likely for resale, and in the process, exposing 2 small children to toxic smoke. Smoke neighbors described as chemical, sharp, unnatural, sometimes drifting down the block. The smell was enough to make some shut their windows. But no one realized just how dangerous it was, or how close the children were to it all. Jack's toy trucks were found just meters from the burn area. Lily's chalk drawings still faintly marked the patio. These were not distant observers. They were in it, breathing it in every single time he lit those fires. RCMP Environmental Forensics now confirmed that residue consistent with chlorinated plastics was detected in soil samples behind the house. The same plastics used in household wiring. The same materials known to release highly toxic dioxins when burned. And Martel knew he had done it before. Witnesses now say he even bragged about the clean copper he pulled. He understood the value, but he ignored the cost, not just to himself, but to the children under his care. This is what neglect looks like. Not screaming, not hitting, just quiet, repeated choices that endanger the innocent while pretending it's nothing. This is exposure. This is risk. This is what Jack and Lily were breathing before they vanished. And now, it's part of the investigation RCMP cannot ignore. RCMP didn't reveal this at first. Not to the public, not to the press. But internal case files, now reviewed by forensic environmental specialists, confirm what many in the community had quietly feared for months. The backyard Daniel Martel controlled was more than just a cluttered space. It was a toxic zone. From that small suburban yard, RCMP sees a disturbing collection of evidence. Scorched metal shards, melted plastic residues, stripped wire casings, and rudimentary burn tools often associated with illegal copper recovery operations. These weren't the remnants of a backyard bonfire. They were byproducts of something darker. Repeated attempts to burn insulation off electrical wiring using open flames, releasing known carcinogens into the air. And all of this took place just feet from where Lily and Jack Sullivan played, ate, and spent their childhood days. Witnesses, neighbors who lived in adjacent homes, told investigators they'd noticed the acrid smell for months.
Probably about a month now.
Chemical, like burnt plastic and rubber. They saw smoke drifting over fences at odd hours. Some even noted Martel wheeling out garbage bins late at night, full of char material. One neighbor described seeing him hunched over a smoldering fire pit with a respirator mask, while the children were nearby without one. RCMP's environmental crime team tested the soil around the burn site and found elevated levels of dioxins, furans, and other combustion byproducts linked to burning chlorinated plastics, especially PVC, the type commonly used in electrical insulation. Dioxins are not just toxic, they're some of the most dangerous industrial byproducts known to science. They're linked to cancer, immune system damage, and developmental problems in children. And then came the medical files. After cross-referencing pediatric records and statements from healthcare providers, investigators found what they now believe are early signs of environmental exposure in both children. Chronic respiratory inflammation, persistent fatigue, unexplained skin and eye irritation. In isolation, these symptoms might have looked minor, but together with the backyard burn evidence, they painted a harrowing picture. For years, those warning signs were dismissed, brushed off as seasonal allergies, childhood asthma, sensitive eyes. But now, with hard evidence in hand, the RCMP is reclassifying those symptoms not as coincidences, but as consequences. This isn't just about what happened the night Lily and Jack vanished. It's about what they were exposed to for months, maybe years, before that night. It's about a man who knowingly burned hazardous materials in a family space. And it's about a system that didn't ask the right questions until it was too late. Because this isn't just a disappearance case anymore. It's a case of environmental harm, of criminal neglect, and
Just heard that word, criminal. Well, it's like this, these children have been through way, way too much. And yeah, burning off copper does have consequences with it. I used to do it myself when the price was up. But apparently he's going to work sites and gathering it up. So he'd be getting number 1 and number 2 copper and trying to burn everything off. But again, I heard them say that CPS has kept something else secret that they have not laid out to the public yet. So there's going to be so much brought out in this. I mean, it's the truth. The truth behind the matter of Jack and Lily's death is all about, and I don't care who tries to say it ain't, nobody make me believe any different. The truth behind the death of Jack and Lily Sullivan was over money, drugs, and jealousy. Now, them were the three main facts. And even if he was burning off copper and whatnot, and this, that, and other, don't let nobody fool you about that being burning like that, because it would take it's all right. It would take a long time. The real, honest to God truth behind the death of these children. That's it. Drugs, money, and jealousy. No more, no less. And they just did not want children in the way. And I believe if Malaya would have stayed, I believe she would have let her mama go ahead and take custody right then, if she was going to stay. But she already had in her mind she'd gone. I believe she's probably been seeing that other fella for a long time. Yeah, it's selfish, and and it don't look good with what's already been found. You know, and again, but now remember, catch this, catch the things that they only say once. They said that there were materials, clothing, and all that matched up in the charred burn pile, but they only said it once. Then they went back to talking about the chemicals that it puts off and stuff. Yeah, none of that's good for anybody. But it would take a long time before anything like that would take place to you. Um, yeah, me too. Um, and we all know what the cause of death was. I mean, we know, we know. Asphyxiation, uh, beating. Um, and I'm proud that CPS stepped in and took the baby, so it couldn't have been mistreated that way because they were going to do it. Yes, sure enough. So, and I noticed that they're only wanting to talk about the radiation out of it, the toxins and things like that out of the burning the wire. That's not any kind of breaking front page news. Anybody that's ever been around where people are burning off copper would know that old stench smell. I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of people do it every day just to make a few dollars. I mean, it's not no front page news here. And the only little bit that they did tell was that some of their clothing matched up with some of the charred materials that was in the fire, and that how often he was burning. it,
Children endangered long before they ever went missing. Burning insulation like this isn't just unethical, usually fatigued, withdrawn, not as normal, curious self. It's a system failure. And someone is still protecting them. The community is no
Good morning,
longer
everyone.
whispering.
My name is Michelle.
They're demanding answers.
Welcome to
because this isn't a case of miswarning
Monday.
signs.
Hey, let me let you in on a secret real quick. This stuff right here is something that you want to add into your.
Sometimes evil doesn't scream. It doesn't slam doors. It doesn't leave bruises you can photograph. Sometimes it seeps in quietly through locked doors, unmarked bottles, and silences too loud to ignore. This story isn't just about two missing children. It's about what they might have breathed in, inhaled, absorbed. It's about a house that smelled like cleaning agents long after the real danger in that house wasn't loud at all. What if it was chemical? Calculus welcomed questions and rarely gave answers. Financial records showed irregularities, missed bills, debts, small claims. A contractor once described him as stressed out, twitchy, like he was carrying more than just tools. There was The children were dressed in oversized hoodies. Jack clutched a stuffed dinosaur. They weren't heading to school. They were leaving. According to case files later leaked, Melia had packed a duffel bag the night before. Just a few clothes, documents, snacks, and a small bottle of lavender oil. Not much, but it told a story. One theory says she was running from escalating violence. Another suggests she had finally seen something she couldn't unsee. Something in
No, honey. They did something that they can't undo. It wasn't that she seen something, it's that they did something. I really don't like that one.
Sometimes evil doesn't scream. It doesn't slam doors. It doesn't leave bruises you can. The signs were subtle until they weren't. He started coming to preschool with low energy, his eyes sometimes glassy, blinking slower than usual. A teacher recalled him laying his head down during art time. Not tired, exactly. Faded. Another day, he flinched when someone dropped a toy too close to him. His whole body recoiled, like the noise wasn't new, like it was familiar. Then there were the fevers. One babysitter noted he ran hot without reason. Another claimed he once vomited and seemed confused afterward. Was it illness or something more sinister? At a birthday party weeks before he disappeared, a guest remembered Jack staring off while the other kids sang. Quiet, disconnected, distant. Someone took a photo. Zoom in, and there's the bruise. A shadow under his eye that didn't belong. But when asked, no one knew how it got there. Not his teacher, not his mother, not Daniel Martel. No visit to a clinic, no formal report, just a growing list of symptoms and silence. Silence that, in hindsight, looks less like ignorance and more like a cover. Something about the Sullivan home felt off. Neighbors didn't always talk, but they noticed. One described an odd chemical smells, sometimes sweet, sometimes bitter, coming from the house late at night. Another swore they saw Daniel Martel pacing outside in the early hours, agitated, glassy-eyed, muttering to himself. One visitor, attending a birthday gathering, remembered unmarked pill bottles sitting near the microwave, not in a cabinet, not tucked away, out in the open. When Jack wandered into the room during that visit, someone said his eyes didn't match his energy. He looked confused, disconnected. A relative would later whisper that Daniel was self-medicating. But medicating with what? Prescriptions in someone else's name, street opioids, anti-anxiety pills crushed into orange juice. No one knew. No one asked. What they did know.
I still, to this day, I honestly believe that they were putting small portions of fentanyl in either their drinks or whatever they were snacking on. You do that over time, you're going to lose balance. Your hearing will be slow. Your reaction to things will be slow. It can cause skin irritations, hallucinations, um, all these kind of things. And there's no way under this earth that they was ever going to let these children go back to school. You know, right at that very time is when they should have drawn blood from Jack and Lily at the school. if a nurse at a schoolhouse suspects anything, not only are they allowed to draw blood from the children, but they have to report it to the authorities. Why that wasn't done, I don't have no idea. People just kept throwing it off, I suppose. But what they endured in that home, in that shed, is just unthinkable. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they knowed it. There would just been more paperwork that had to fill out. Just like a police. Lazy as heck. They don't mind giving you a ticket, but they can't stand having to go back to the office to fill out paperwork on it. We should stop that stupid music on there.
Tonight, we confront a chilling possibility that the man who said he loved Jack and Lily might have been the last person to see them alive, and potentially the one responsible. Daniel Martel stands accused by many of being the hidden killer of his 2 stepchildren. Is he a protective parent? Or the person hiding behind grief and silence?
Are you accessory to the murder of Lily and Jack? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive.
Yeah.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could
No.
they be somewhere?
No.
The heck
So we got on to questions about the polygraph test. The interviewer says, okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test. He says, yeah.
Hey, Shauna. He just said she said, is it true that the children are dead? And he says, yeah. Why is people not picking this up? What in the world is going on?
Yeah.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could
No.
they be somewhere?
No.
So we got on to question.
Tonight, we confront a chilling possibility that the man who said he loved Jack and Lily might have been the last person to see them alive, and potentially the one responsible. Daniel Martel stands accused by many of being the hidden killer of his 2 stepchildren. Is he a protective parent? Or the person hiding behind grief and silence?
Are you accessory to the murder of Lily and Jack? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are.
Did you hear that? I hate this music, but listen up over it anyway.
Tonight, we confront a chilling possibility that the man who said he loved Jack and Lily might have been the last person to see them alive, and potentially the one responsible. Daniel Martel stands accused by many of being the hidden killer of his 2 stepchildren. Is he a protective parent? Or the person hiding behind grief and silence?
Are you accessory to?
I'm a accessory to the killing of Jack and Lily Sullivan. Yeah. What RCMP and authorities are doing that I've heard through the grapevine. Uh, like as far as the remains of the children, uh, all this that that we're hearing is not matching up timelines. What they don't know, Daniel and all them don't realize. And like I said, through the grapevine, things happened earlier on, and they're not wanting to tell what timeline, what day, date, anything such as that. Now, that's like these children's remains. It did not happen the day that it said they did. It happened before. Just like the school, things that started showing up and they started getting in, questioning them and whatnot, and they got them took they take them they had taken them out of school, and believe it or not, they quit or got them out a week prior to all this. So a lot of the there's there's lies and then there's half truths, and the reason they're not kicking heels up is because RCMP is doing the same thing. They're not. I mean, they're time stamping what they do and when they did it and what they found. But what they want to do is take that to court and get their side of the story. Well, RCMP and authorities will have camera footage with a time stamp date on it. So that's going to knock them back as a liar. They've messed up so many times that they're not going to fail this go around. Uh, they have been too many things said and done, and that's the only one thing that a lot of people is not catching on to is that RCMP, the sheriff, everybody, the sheriff, everybody, they're not giving out specific times and dates of things that were found, okay, because they want them to keep slipping up, to keep telling a different tale. But what the trouble is, were they? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Uh, hey, Crystal, crime and music sounds like our kind of stuff. If you like this kind of content, hey, look, give us a subscribe and a like. Uh, let's see, it was 11 to 12 days now. 11 to 12 days. They've been nothing from any of them out in public. No reports, no interview, no nothing. And even with that nut job coming in here saying that none of them have been notified about from the authorities or been locked up or questioned or anything. People like that you cannot believe. Why else would we or anybody else that lives in Canada, if they was to see either one of them out in public, Malaya, the mom, Daniel's mom, Daniel, any of them, they would snap photos. And that's just today's culture. But everything that they're talking about, I'm just telling you now, they found it before the date that they said, so they can keep it off the crazy trail reins, so people can't add up and figure. That's like if I was, all right, say if you went and played hide and seek, would you want somebody to hide their eye like, or would you rather them just cover them normal? Because if they let somebody get to where they can leak it, then there it would go. And I think that's why Daniel got so pissed. Because he probably went right back to where they're supposed to be and wouldn't. I believe that the remains were found uh, several days or so before it was put out to the public. Yeah, somewhat. Uh, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. Well, no, I take that back. I like watching them auditor videos and stuff like that. I don't watch other people's paranormal shows or uh, anything like that. Um, I don't. I just don't do that. I don't try to have my mind influenced by anybody. So I just do not do that. That's a one thing that I will not do is listen to another paranormal station. Uh, well, they we just listened 5 times. We just listened 5 times on this show right now of the confessions and what they wanted to do to even Baby Meadow. And now nobody's seeing anybody. But yet there was a letter that was found from Malaya. Now I don't know if it was they got another search warrant for Daniel's place or Daniel's mom's place, or if they got a court order to go to Malaya's mom's place. But uh, it had been hidden, and it said if you're reading this by this time, they are already gone. Everything, everything is catching up. Exactly, and I I spoke on that yesterday. But what people don't like is the truth. They ask me, where do I get this information? Where did I find it? You know, they're so worried about how I got this information. Well, I didn't get it from no YouTube source. Now, I showed a clip where it said that arrest coming for their nuts. But I also hear from the children and some of the children's past loved ones. So the children would not lie, period. And I would only take the children's word over anybody or anything. They're the ones that had to endure all this mess. Hey, Paula. How you doing, love? So it is what it is. I guess a lot of people can't just do like I do. I don't know. But like I said, my findings, my truths don't come from YouTube. Now, I show what's on here. We listen to some of what they say. But then when we're ready to talk to the children and ask them the questions, it just throws them under the bus. And some people just don't like that. But quite frankly, I don't give a damn. Because I'm going to believe a child over anybody. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. Where people can't figure out things that I'm talking about, well, no, they're not living. Most definitely not. Um, but yes, um, I've talked to the children. I've talked to past loved ones, and people could say till they're blue in the face that they have not found the remains of Jack and Lily Sullivan, but they have. Since that has happened, they've been no longer any interviews publicly, anything from any of them. And that, like I said, that can only mean one thing, or maybe two, that they have been brought in for questioning, or it could be like Dernuts. He done spoke too much. And that's why they uploaded that arrest is coming for Durwood. But no, the majority, 90% of what I get does not have anything in this world to do with the internet. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's people people can listen and think one way. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody does. But hey, I got mine too. But I ain't so worried with that as I am knowing that the children at any given time will repeat what they endured and how they had to deal with it. This is a very, very sad situation for these children. I have no sympathy for any of that family. None whatsoever. And yeah, and somebody said the other day that everything that I got from Jack and Lily and uh, their loved ones that's on the other side already said that that lady ended up getting the same info that I had already had gotten, and I'm just telling people that you need to be aware that RCMP, other authorities know things that they've not put out to the public yet, and especially timelines of finding things. Now, when it comes to court, they will tell it. Or once when they're all in custody, they'll tell it to the public. Um, but no, it's like people come over here like that one. You know, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. This is my show. This is JSV here. I run my show the way I want to run it. And as long as there's a breath in me, I'm going to let these deceased teens and children and adults speak. They all deserve a voice. And I can tell when some of them in the background is watching. But as soon as them babies start talking, they get off quick. They can't stand it because it haunts them. They just cannot stand it. Nobody likes the truth. And all right, put yourself in that perspective. If you killed a man and you didn't want nobody to know nothing about it, and you was flipping through YouTube channel and you watch somebody that is a sensitive that can connect with the deceased or the living and start hearing things about what you did to the person, it would make you be a little sketchy too. You'd try to get off when the person that you killed is trying to talk, and then you'd come back in and hopefully that you'd be talking about something else a little bit. Uh, well, the kids don't hold back. There are things that's been said and done that we cannot unhear and that they cannot fix anymore. Yes. but I just like to get my side straight. People that come here get my info and take it back to somewhere else. That's just a shame. You know what I mean? If they can't get it on their own, that's their problem. They need to change their profession. Oh, I know it, Andy. I know it. They some that even said so. Yeah, because they don't like the truth. And that's why I say a lot of time, people don't like me a lot of time because I'm blunt. I tell it like it is. There's some people like that about me and some that don't. But at least I don't beat around the bushes with it. Go ahead and get it out of the way. Be done with it.
The murder of Lily and Jack, they were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive.
Yeah.
There were no.
Did you hear that?
Questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could
No.
they be somewhere?
No.
So we got on to questions about the polygraph test. The interviewer says, okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test. He says, yeah. Did RCMP take you up on that? Yes, they did. Straightforward answers. And how did that unfold? That unfolded in my favor. They obviously know I wasn't lying about anything. That's an interesting set of words, okay? They obviously know. Obviously is a convincing word. It doesn't need to be there in the sentence at all. It would have the same meaning if you said they know I wasn't lying about anything. But it's the obviously word. It's convincing us. It's, hey, they obviously know I wasn't lying about anything. It's obvious I wasn't lying about anything. It's put in there to convince us that they don't believe he was lying.
Daniel is not going to convince me of nothing. He failed his polygraph. He wanted to make it out that, of course, he passed with flying colors. No, that didn't daggone work neither. These children would still be here today if it wasn't for money, jealousy, and drugs. That's the proof. That's the truth behind the death of Jack and Lily Sullivan. Me neither.
About anything. So that is trying hard to show the results of this. To know I wasn't lying about anything. Wasn't is in the past tense. Number one, that is not to say that he's not lying now in the present tense. It's just in the past he wasn't lying about anything. Again, I'm not drawing anything majorly suspicious about this. I'm picking up data points about what he's saying. I know that I wasn't lying about anything.
We lift the curtain into what happened on May 2nd, inconsistencies in his story, his polygraph test, and whispers in the community asking, did Daniel kill Jack and Lily in cold blood? The Sullivan home from the outside looked ordinary. Smiles were practiced. Greetings were short. But behind those walls, something didn't add up. Teachers noticed Jack becoming slower, tired, skittish. Neighbors mentioned strange smells, sweet chemical, like the air inside that house wasn't meant for children. Most people thought the threat was emotional, that the bruises were born of anger, the silence of shame. But what if they were wrong? What if the real danger in that house wasn't loud at all? What if it was chemical, calculated? What if Jack... And beside that, nothing. No footprints. No drag marks. Just silence and pine needles. What was left behind may be the only trace Jack and Lily ever gave us. And it raises one haunting possibility. Someone wanted it to be discovered. and someone else wanted it hidden. The official report said the children wandered away, that there were no signs of foul play. But there were things no one could explain. Why was the scent trail so short? Why did the mother call 911, but Daniel, the last adult with the kids, didn't? Why did the house smell of bleach that morning? Neighbors described the couple as quiet, private, but lately, there were arguments. Cracks in the walls, emotional and literal. Lily had started wetting the bed again. Jack had become withdrawn. And Daniel? He told police he searched for hours. But his phone data.
And that's another thing. That just pisses me off. When Daniel would wet the bed or whatnot, he would be put outside, no matter if it was cold or not, for punishment. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they should have took them off and just been done with it. And I asked Lily, did she ever get in trouble for wetting or messing up herself? And she said, yeah. But then she said something other about they did something to Jack first. And, make him stand out without any bottoms, no shoes, socks, no diaper, nothing, just stand outside in the cold. That was just one of the punishments. And then Jack also spoke and said that he was whipped and choked. And trust me, you don't need earbuds to hear it neither. They are so many things. Yeah, there's so many things that I've got. We've got this whole story from front to end within 4.5 days. And there's still him hauling around when they'll need to. Need to let authorities go ahead and be doing their job and getting it over with. Hey, Sharon. These children deserve to be laid proper and show some respect. Uh, yes, it can. And just nervousness. Well, what all other bad things you think they done for punishment for wetting or messing their breath? I mean, there's a lot went on that the kids have talked about that no YouTuber or newscast or anything has spoken of. And trust me, they're listening. They watch. And they hear what these babies say. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, period. But when people say this, or you shouldn't say that, so and so ain't been locked up, or this and that and other, that's where people need to sit back and listen, just open their ears. I plainly showed the picture of numbnuts where it says arrest coming. Daniel, same thing. Arrest coming. But with nobody having any interviews for over the last 11 to 12 days out in the public, leads me to believe that, yeah, he could be already there and being interrogated. It's not saying that he is, it's just giving an idea that he could be. Because apparently they can't nobody find him out in public. Him, their nuts, Malaya, the mom anymore, Malaya's mom, they already have, they can't be back on the res anymore. They're getting in trouble every which way they turn. They're getting in trouble. Yeah, if this it, if these babies right here don't touch your heart, you ain't got one. But if people come in here and will just talk sensibly, be like, where are you getting this information? I would plainly say, through the spirit box, everything being spiritual. I usually try to wait 3 to 4 weeks before I start, but with this being current, I got on it right off the top. And that's how come I got so much already that we've got from the front to the back of what has happened. And people just can't stand that I've got that and they don't. That's all it boils down to.
Data says otherwise. That dirt road wasn't just a place where evidence was found. It may have been chosen. It may have been staged. Tonight, we follow that road and everything it might reveal. It was just after 7:20 a.m. on May 2nd. Jack and Lily were last seen alive eating breakfast. Daniel Martel claimed he kissed them on the forehead before stepping out for a quick errand. He says he returned around past 10. The front door was unlocked. The cereal bowls still on the table, but the kids were gone. No broken window. No footprints.
See, right there, about 3 lies right there. They already said and started it off at the beginning that they slipped out that back sliding glass door. The mom, yeah, his mom said she's seen them outside playing at 6:30. Then she changed it to, well, between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard the kids crying and carrying on and whatnot, and a car speeding off. So everything they've been saying, they can't match it up. They can't keep one line straight. Yeah, and they've said it, and they've said it.
No sign of forced entry. Just absence. He called out. Walked up and down the driveway. Then, nothing. Number 911 called. No knocking on neighbors' doors. By then, it was already too late. Police organized a grid search. Dogs. Drones. Hundreds of local residents combing the woods. But the trails were cold. The only thing found was a pair of small items near the bridge. A child's sock. A torn boot. DNA confirmed it belonged to Lily. And that's when public sympathy began to shift. Investigators zeroed in on one man, Daniel Martel. At first, his story made sense, until it didn't. Phone records showed he wasn't running errands during the window the children vanished. He was home. His phone was idle. Motion sensors in the house were disabled. He failed a polygraph test. His computer history revealed search terms no parent should ever type. Lethal household poisons. How long to overdose a child? Can bleach remove DNA? At this time, we believe the children were not abducted by a stranger. She never believed Daniel was capable of harm. But then she remembered the late-night cleaning, the constant locked basement, the strange rashes Lily had. Daniel's defense claims he's being... At this time, we believe the children were not abducted by a stranger. She never believed Daniel was capable of harm. But then she remembered the late-night cleaning, the constant locked basement, the...
Now, I'm asked, let's see, there's 18 on and 17 locks. Everyone's in the back. I don't give a damn who you are right now. Just agree or disagree. Did or did you guys not just hear what Lily has been saying over and over? That they were in a basement with nothing but a mattress. How many times have we heard that? I mean, somebody tell me that y'all just heard that just as well as I did. Is my volume up? Did y'all just hear that? Well, I'm pretty sure you can hear me, but I'm saying what she just said. It's not here. It's not popped up here, buffering. Yet, thank God. But we have heard Lily plainly say in a basement, dark, only on a mattress. And then when I asked again, I said, "Are you still in the dark?" And she said, "No, we're outside." Now listen to this. Listen very, very carefully.
Household poisons. How long to overdose a child? Can bleach remove DNA? At this time, we believe the children were not abducted by a stranger. She never believed Daniel was capable of harm. But then she remembered the late-night cleaning, the constant locked basement, the strange...
The constant locked basement. Now, what I'm fixing to say, anybody with ears and a little bit of common sense is going to know this. Now, that mobile home that they're living in, or was living in, There were no basement in a trailer. There is no basement in a trailer. In a house, yes. Cleaning supplies and something about not thinking something or going down to the basement or something that is being a locked basement. Listen one more time.
Remove DNA? At this time, we believe the children were not abducted by a stranger. She never believed Daniel was capable of harm. But then she remembered the late night cleaning, the constant locked basement, the strange.
Mm-hmm. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, see everything that they're telling, and if you're just now or today watching this show, wherever you are in the world, um, you've heard me read it off many, many times that they were in a basement. And anybody knows in a mobile home, there is no basement. That happens in a house or, yeah, a cabin or anything such as that. That's where you find your basements. When she came back from having, yeah, fun on the beach and whatnot, she said that she made a statement said, I didn't know that this would happen or had already happened. Well, what do you think's going to happen when you put children in a daggone basement and give them a bite of cereal every once in a while? No milk, just cereal. What in the world do you think they're going to do? Yeah. So now this is the very first time, and y'all know it as well as I'm sitting here breathing today. Y'all know that's the first time that it's been actually told publicly through any type of authority or the criminal justice system. Now, y'all know we done heard this. And I said, I'm not going to believe nobody but these babies. And I want to stick to that. Nobody going to make me believe that the children are not telling me the truth. Because they are. They're scared. They was confused. And now, the other day, Lily said, now we're free. And sounded so happy.
Brash as Lily had. Daniel's defense claims he's being framed, that the kids wandered off and the evidence was circumstantial. But then, the breaking point came. Traces of chloroform found in the children's bedding.
Chloroform. About 30 seconds on a rag placed over the mouth and nose, you are knocked out for hours at a time.
And one anonymous tip. A former coworker of Daniel's who said, he once joked that the easiest way to quiet a kid was with chemistry. The Sullivan family shattered. Jessica moved out of their home. It's since been boarded up. She visits the old wooden bridge every Sunday. Leaves flowers. 2 stuffed animals. 1 blue. 1 pink. The community held vigils. Jack's classmates released blue balloons.
And the other day when I was studying on the kids, they showed me a bridge, and that's when I mentioned it to you guys. And it was the same bridge that whoever said that they got the same thing I did said that they seen the bridge too. And I've never been to Canada in my life. I'd love to, but how else would I know about that old bridge? And not just too far from that bridge, from the riverside edge, is where they found the remains of Jack and Lily. Luckily, by hikers. Yeah, try to say it wasn't her. And put in the trash. And ignorant.
Lily's favorite teacher sobbed during a memorial. The media descended like vultures. Some questioned Jessica's silence. Others went after Daniel's past. But underneath all the noise, 2 lives were gone. And 2 parents were now strangers. 1 broken. The other on trial. This wasn't just about evidence anymore. It was about betrayal. A home no longer safe. And a father figure now facing life in prison. Sadly, this isn't the first time a caregiver became the monster. Remember Gabriel Fernandez? Harmony Montgomery? In each case, there were signs. Teachers noticed bruises. Doctors raised questions. Friends saw fear in the child's eyes. But systems failed. What does this say about our protections? About family courts, social services, the blind trust given to fathers? How many times must children whisper help with their behavior before someone listens? How many signs must we miss before it's too late? The unanswered questions are: there are still things that don't add up. Why was Daniel so calm during his first interview? Why was there no sign of physical harm on the children, only chemical traces? And why did the only survivor?
How many times am I going to have to repeat this? Chloroform. No, let me rephrase this. Okay. They made a little crucial mistake right here and let something slip that I just caught myself. Now, they said real quick, but y'all heard it too as well as I did. But it took me a minute to put 2 and 2 together. Now, they said that they had found chloroform in the children's system. It's awful something. But did y'all hear what they just said? Hey D. That chloroform was found in their system. And here's the kicker. They let it slip. They were mentioning the bridge and a sock and some stuff. And then we already know that the kids was not too far from the bridge there on the bank side. And how else would they have found chloroform in their system if they hadn't have already got the corpse of the children? Figure that one out. So they slipped a little bit. That's okay. Because it'll come out in the wash. So any of the people that don't believe that RCMP and some hikers found Jack and Lily's remains, well, there's your proof in the pudding. Otherwise, how in the world would they have found traces of chloroform being in the children without doing DNA testing? That's the only way. I get most of my information through spirit activity, giving the deceased a voice. That's where I get it from. You live there and that's not true? You about as full of shit as that old timey toilet back in the 1800s. See what I'm saying? As soon now pay attention to this. As soon as I figured that out and put that 2 and 2 together, you see what pops up? Now you know what I'm talking about. As soon as the truth starts coming out, yeah, whoever Bobby is full of crap. But see, they're sitting in the back, but didn't want to say that ain't true, or didn't want to even comment until I told the truth. That the only way they could have found the chloroform in them baby's system is if they did a DNA test. And the only way to do a DNA test is if they had the remains of the children. Well, you full of shit. Y'all, mods, start taking these people out. You see how serious it gets when somebody gets to the truth of a matter? That's a shame. Now, they said they lived there and let's see. Let's see. Who else was? Why ain't my thing working? Let's see. Who was that? Lives up in Canada too. Where's my little thing to move my? Why ain't it rolling? Why ain't it scrolling? There it goes. Let's see. Now, Annie lives there, and I've not heard Annie say that they haven't been found, and that Daniel and uh, Durwood has not been questioned. Uh, so, with her living there, she would have just as much ID as this person down here came in. But Annie's not saying that crap. But you see, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. They see, okay. See that's the deal. See, they're fine. They're fine listening and everything else till I get right down to to the point to where it could really get them. They don't want to hear that crap. They're scared of it. And all anybody should want is just for these children to be laid to rest properly with some respect. And these children and any other children from around the world deserves a voice. And that's what I'm here for. And when someone tells me something and I can put two and two together, I'm going to tell it. And I don't give a damn who likes it. And the only ones that would not like it would just be the ones that would have something to worry about. If they were innocent, they would not care what we're talking about. Good deal. Yeah, I said I live here. I can tell you what happened. Yeah. Well, they full of crap. Their eyes are turning brown. They so full. Uh, you know, and don't take a rocket scientist to figure out when you hit somebody's trigger point, they're going to say something or something smart. I mean that's just the way they are. Yeah. So we struck a chord right there. We sure did. Dadgummit. And like I said, no. All my information does not come from YouTube. It specifically comes from the spirit realm. And just because other people cannot do it does not mean that they should take what I get and put it somewhere else. Because then it's just going to make them look so bad. What are you doing, huh? Huh? What would you do? The only thing that I believe, Bernice, is the children. Yeah, Bernice. And that reminds me, Bernice, if you like my content, give us a subscribe. Hit that like button and hit that like button and hit that little bell icon next to that subscribe button. And turn your notifications on all, and you'll be notified every time I get ready to upload. They've already been 2 to 3 people jump in tonight saying that that's false, that what I'm saying is not true.
How is it false when it's coming directly from the source?
That's what I just said. So they don't like it because they know it's the truth.
People don't like the truth.
Yeah, I mean, but they know that I'm getting the information. You do every time? Good. I always tell everybody, share with your friends and family. If you got other devices in your house, like a laptop or cell phone or whatever, subscribe on them items as well. Yeah, because we do all kinds of things around here. Coming in like roaches, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, that just proves our point more. You give somebody an inch and they'll take a mile. You see what I'm saying? And that just proved it twice right in a row. Hey Donna, how you doing, love? Hey Carol. Carol says, hey. She just woke up. Her neck's been hurting a little bit. I think it's the way she laid or something. I don't know. He may have. I don't know. Well, we know we strung a cord anyway, daggone. And like I said, if people will just shut their mouth, open their ears, they will hear and know where my information comes from. And yes, it's from the source. They don't like hearing from someone that they have done something bad to. That was just one of the friends that just come in there and just daggum trying to claim it ain't true and all this crap and that they live up there. Well, she lives up there too, and she ain't said nothing about it. They ain't done it. And the reason and the reason it's like that, and I've said this 1,000 times. Priscilla, hello again. Priscilla, where about? Welcome everybody. The reason they're not getting that is because like I said in the beginning, what authorities and what RCMP has gotten and everything, they're not going to give a timeline on it when they have found it. They're going to wait and use that in court. Now, when they find something, yeah, when they find something like they did when they found Jack and Lily's remains, and a lot of people don't want to hear it because they know that they're going to get caught. Well, you know, they don't put it out to the public until they're ready to. And, you know, I let you listen time after time of RCMP talking about hikers found Jack and Lily's remains. So, no, I'm talking about people coming here and try to diffuse the situation. That come in here and want to slander what we're saying because they don't like the truth. The truth hurts. But now I have seen some of the meanest people on the face of this earth. And when it comes to a child and somebody comes in and does junk like that right there, they'll even turn on people doing that crap. They don't like somebody that's going to hurt a child or has or would. But this here is by no accident. Now, they brought it out to the public of finding Jack and Lily's remains and some of their discarded clothes nearby. And like I said, I let y'all hear that 10, 15 daggum times. So y'all know it as well as I know it. People don't want to hear about it, anything beyond that point, because, you know, it's just going to make their case look worse. Well, I can't help it. But any time that I want to hear from these children or Summer or any child on the face of this earth, I'd be damned if somebody gonna come in here and tell me how to run my daggone show. Okay? Like I said, and I'm in it. As long as there's breath in me, I'm going to give every single child, teen, and adult a voice. I gave them a word of wood, and I'll die doing it. Now, I can't help it because when these children and people speak and it comes back and bites you in the ass, that ain't my fault. Or that if it just scares you up, that's not my fault. You know, you run with a bad dog, hey, you're going to get catched just like the rest of them. Not Kathy. But you know, yeah. Well, you know, it's a matter of them being able to hear the truth, and nobody on faces are going to the truth. Nobody, because what if it's you're innocent or if you're not innocent? Innocent, it don't matter whatever. You still just don't want to hear the truth, and that's just being human. Because if you're innocent and you hear the truth, it's not so much as just you don't want to hear the truth, but you feel it more than anything. And the way I look at it of what these children had to feel and go through, it's not going to hurt them to go through a little of that too. Now, I'm going to say this again. If you want to know where and how I get my information, come and subscribe, hit the like button, and become a JSV fan. If you want to hear from a loved one and you want to be part of hearing and listening and learning about the paranormal and seeing how we help try to find missing teens and children and adults, this is where to come to. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm getting hungry. I got to eat me something. So, just break it. I don't doubt it, love. I don't doubt it a bit. It's probably getting cloudy outside. Well, if y'all can hear me, I love y'all, and I will see you later. They're saying that